What did your boss do that made your whole team quit at once? I used to work for a small MSP about 5 years ago, the kind of place where 4 techs managed close to 1,000 PCs, a couple dozen servers, and around 30 clients spread all over the city. None of us were assigned to any specific client. Tickets came in, we grabbed whatever was next, fixed the issue, and moved on. The best part was that everything was either lump sum or contract work, so we never had to worry about billable hours, upsells, or any of the messy stuff that makes tech work less enjoyable. We showed up, solved problems, and went home. I was the most experienced tech on the team, about 15 years in the field at that point. The next most experienced person had around 5. Because of that, and because I naturally jump in to help people, everyone started calling me the senior tech, even though it wasn't actually my title. I'd come in early, clear out overnight tickets, and help the newer techs when they hit tougher issues. It was a good rhythm, and even the owner treated me like the steady pair of hands he could rely on. After working there for 2 years, I finally decided it was time to talk about a raise. I didn't go in empty-handed either. I brought numbers. I closed the most tickets. I had the highest client satisfaction scores from our surveys, and I was usually the one jumping in when something complicated came in. The owner listened, nodded, and said he'd think about how much to give me and get back to me soon. A few weeks later, he called for a company-wide meeting, and I figured this was the moment. Instead, he announced he would no longer be giving raises at all. Instead, he was rolling out a weekly bonus system based on KPIs, and not individual KPIs, team KPIs, meaning my pay now depended on the performance of everyone, not me. I learned later that another tech had also asked for a raise, and instead of dealing with it, he created a system that lowered his payroll. The KPIs themselves looked simple on paper. If a ticket came in, we had 15 minutes to acknowledge it to score a perfect 100 for that metric. If we missed the window, that ticket scored a 0. There were 10 metrics in total: ticket age, response time, completion time, follow-up notes, you name it. If the weekly score averaged above 90, each tech got a $100 bonus. I told the owner immediately that this system would hurt client service, not improve it. He got annoyed, cut me off, and said, just hit the KPIs. So we did exactly that, but not the way he envisioned. It took all of 1 week for us to figure out how to make the numbers happy. The system didn't check whether we actually talked to the client. It only checked whether we marked the ticket as acknowledged. So we started sending a quick template email the moment a ticket arrived, which counted as reaching out. We didn't need the client to reply. The KPI box was checked. Low priority scheduling became a nightmare. Clients would submit tickets asking for help next week when they were available, but that meant letting the ticket sit longer than the KPI allowed. So we began calling immediately, pushing them to book sooner. If they weren't free or didn't answer, we closed the ticket with a note saying they were unreachable. Technically correct, completely unhelpful. Customer service dropped almost instantly. For 2 solid years, not a single complaint had ever come through. After the KPI system started, complaints came in weekly. Clients were irritated, confused, or wondering why their low priority tasks were suddenly being rushed. On top of that, the new system turned our team dynamic upside down. Every Friday became a scramble to squeeze in the last few points, because if even one tech slipped, all of us lost the bonus. It was stressful, frustrating, and suddenly the easiest job I'd ever had turned into the most draining one. After about 2 months, the owner finally realized he'd created a mess. He removed the KPI bonus system entirely, but he didn't give us a raise, didn't replace it with anything, and didn't acknowledge how much damage had been done. And at that point, I was already looking for new work. By the time I put in my 2 weeks, 2 clients had already abandoned the company. Within days, the other 3 techs submitted their notices as well. The place went from a smooth, well-oiled team to a sinking ship just because the owner didn't want to give out a couple of raises. I heard from a former coworker months later that the company eventually lost more than half its clients. The owner had to rehire several new techs at salaries more than 20% higher than the raise I originally asked for, all because he tried to save money.